Hello, Morning Rush irregulars. This is Jonathon Rush in the middle of the Poinsettia Parade. Only have one, so it goes back and forth. It's more like a timepiece. There's Kelly Nash.
For people who are listening on the podcast, we have a poinsettia in the studio, and Jonathon likes to play with that.
Well, I really need to water it because this desperately needs. You can't pour coffee. Should I pour some Gatorade in there?
Well, from Idiocracy, we
That's
know
right.
that the plants love
Electrolytes. More electrolytes. Hey, so we're talking about tomorrow's show today. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Another chance to win Alan Jackson tickets. You can be listening for Honky Tonk Christmas. We're going to play it sometime between 6 and 9. When you hear it, after it plays all the way through, that's when you become caller. Well, that's when you want to be caller 5. And if you're caller 5, then you win tickets, and you also then qualify for the drawing. We're going to have Friday. We give this away Friday for the Backstage Experience, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, Friday. And we'll be pulling from all 3 weeks
That's
of
right.
winners for that. Jonathon, we've got a couple of stories that we've already put on for tomorrow's show, which would include 6:15. We get right into the big controversy, Hallmark. Hallmark is in a PR nightmare right now because they announced, probably shouldn't have announced that, but I guess they really didn't have a choice on that they were going to pull all the same-sex advertising that one of the wedding planners had put up there. Some of it was heterosexual, some of it was homosexual. But they decided to pull the homosexual versions of the commercials, and then that launched a Twitter storm like no others, including Ellen DeGeneres. William Shatner got in on it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, William Shatner's all like, he wants more same-sex marriages happening and
Gotcha.
all that. So, anyway, by
Is
Sunday...
he getting on Sulu again? Sulu's already rebuffed him, I think, about 10 times. So we should give it up, Bill.
Well,
Not getting it.
I mean, Bill was always more attracted to the alien women.
Oh, hoorah.
Well, no, he didn't like her as much as he liked those, I don't know if you call them Martians or whatever, but he was always into the orange women and the green women, and the women you could barely tell they were women. He liked that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
My favorite love scene from
Star Trek
was they actually beamed aboard a planet, and then they became these slaves, and the entire planet was nothing but women. So they were excited about having 5 guys beamed down. And she gave him a cup, and she said, "Drink this."
All right.
And he said, "What's in this?" She said, "It'll make you more pleasurable to be with." I'm like, wow. She just gave him some mouthwash. Captain Kirk's got bad breath.
Apparently so.
What an insult right there.
But what a great gift if you could give that to somebody and it would really make their personality more pleasurable. Like, I actually like you now if you drink this. That'd be great. But so now Hallmark's in the middle of this controversy because they pulled it. Then they got Ellen DeGeneres and a million other people tweeting about them. And so now Sunday they flipped back and said we're going to reinstate all of these commercials. Now you got all the Christian groups and
They bowed.
and a bunch of moms and stuff, maybe not Christians. They just don't want to see same-sex marriages on their channel.
Well, it's funny because I remember watching a Hallmark Channel movie with Sally, and one of the commercials, I've forgotten, it was one of the restaurants, and it showed a bunch of people at the restaurants at their tables, and they were all celebrating something. And it did show, I think it was 2 women, they leaned over the table to kiss. And then it went into like a Zales commercial. And I said, I wonder why we're not seeing more jewelry store commercials for homosexual relationships. And I looked it up while I was sitting there. Now I can't watch television unless I'm in the full Kelly Nash position with a pad or a smartphone so I can look stuff up. And sure enough, all of them have homosexual, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it, commercials, but they haven't been running them. I guess they'll be running those more now in the Hallmark Channel.
It's interesting because I think when you look at the research, you're going to find that the vast majority of the Hallmark Channel, or let me put it this way, the vast majority of the gay and lesbian community does not watch the Hallmark Christmas movies. So you're not marketing to where your audience is. So why are you marketing there? It'd be like running a steak ad on a vegan show.
Got it.
Why would you do that? The F-150 pickup on the RuPaul drag queen race show or whatever. It's not, you're not going after your audience. You're going to make some sort of a statement and put them kind of over the barrel. Kind of like the, if you go back to, was it like 8 years ago when the gay couple sought out the only Christian bakery in that community and said, we will not make wedding cakes for same-sex couples. There was 100 other ones they could have gone to, but they said, we want this one.
Yeah, they
to
won't
make it
pass
first.
50 bake shops to get to this one.
In order to push that agenda. I believe that's what we're seeing here, is that they're trying to push an agenda, and it's put Hallmark in a very awkward position.
I remember years and years ago when Janie and John were little, they come home from after school and they start watching America's Funniest Videos on TBS. Well, every promo, not commercial, but every promotional clip that PBS would run for other programming on PBS was one of the shows they would play at night. Typically a cop show, you know, where they're blowing away 12 people with shotguns and there's death and destruction. And they would run that right in the middle of afternoon programming for America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
And I emailed them like, I want my kids to watch this show because it's one of the shows on television they can see without watching 99 Different Ways to Kill Yourself or Be Killed on a cop show. Why do you insist on running these promos to an available audience that's not going to be to an unavailable audience because they're not going to watch later that night? Never got a response.
I would say the difference between your complaint and the gay and lesbian community's complaint is that nobody, with the same-sex marriages, they're saying love is love. Why should anybody be offended by seeing two women or two men kiss? It's easy to say that people would be offended by violence. But,
Gotcha.
But they're saying nobody should be offended by this. But yet there clearly is a huge portion of America, and I would say probably the majority of the Hallmark viewing channels audience. Not all of them, obviously.
Sure.
And you don't have to be gay or lesbian to not be offended by this. There's plenty of... I'm not actually offended by it, to be honest with you. It doesn't bother me, but I understand why some parents don't want to be watching it with their kids and go, why are these two people kissing? And I get their complaints, but, you know, I also just... My biggest issue is the fact that I think that they're targeting the Hallmark Channel to push an agenda, not to actually push their product.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
It's all about the mission, and the mission is that can you continue to put straight or, in particular, Christians back in the box.
Yeah.
Get back in your box, and you're not mass accepted. You can only be that when you go to church.
As an interesting side note, a friend of ours, I won't say their name right now, but you saw them today, was telling me that they, in their office, somebody wanted to, they have Christmas trees in the office. Somebody said, I want to put up a menorah. And one of the Jewish people who work in the office defended the Christmas trees with a unique defense, which is the Christmas tree has nothing to do with Christians. It is not a religious symbol acknowledged by any Christians around the world, when the menorah is genuinely a symbol for the Jewish faith. So if you put that up, until you put up the cross, you're not doing...
That's a great argument.
So they say, and so the Jewish guy got the office out of having to put up menorahs.
That's a great argument,
So
because it's true, yeah.
But so then the Christmas movies that we're talking about on Hallmark Channel cannot be considered Christian-based. They are non-secular. They are...
Yes.
So that's why I guess you could say, well...
You don't ever see anybody in a Hallmark movie, it's not even a nativity scene, do you?
I don't remember. I haven't seen them all.
They're all very just commercial Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, so that if you're a Christian who's offended, they'd say, well, you can't use your faith here. Why else would you be offended?
Mm-hmm.
What else you got for me? I guess how they'd overcome
Now, see,
that.
it's not even Christmas time at the table with the family, and we're already talking about religion.
I think
This
people
is
got to
very
talk about
dicey
it.
tomorrow morning. We're going to do this at what, 6:10?
6:10ish, and then
Okay.
7:10ish. We've got the biggest product flops of the decade. I was kind of going through this thing, and I hadn't even remembered some of them. Some of them, I'm so sorry that they've gone. Like 3D television has been killed off. I was actually looking forward to the day I could afford a 3D television. I'd seen some of the previews of it, and I thought it was amazing. But I'll never have the well, I don't know. Maybe somebody will revive it in 5 or 10 years or something. But all television manufacturers have discontinued their 3Ds. That's sad.
Apparently, there's not an audience for that. Because look how many 3D movies have come out, and you had to buy the special ticket, you had to get your glasses. And I went to a couple of 3D movies, and it really kind of got on my nerves.
Really?
Because at that point, I think they were all doing 3D effects just to highlight the effect.
Okay.
It didn't really add to the movie. It was just getting to be over the top.
Yeah.
So it's like too cute for the room.
But the 3D television part that I loved the idea of was the football games.
Yeah.
And they could show you from all different angles if the foot was in or
Right.
out. And what was it like to see it, like as a receiver, the ball's coming to you, to get it really in 3D? I thought that would be so exciting.
That would be cool. But we'd already burned it out with this other experience, like the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol movie. In 3D, wow, is that obnoxious?
Well, that product's gone, as well as a bunch of other products like Google Glasses and stuff that
The
flopped.
Google Glasses, I really thought were going to be big sellers. I would have thought that would have worked.
Yeah.
Because that's very cool, because it makes it easier for you to carry. You don't have to carry your phone.
No, you got the Google Maps in there and
Right.
all kinds of other stuff. But what product did you believe in that was going to be huge? Maybe it's one of these ones on the top 25 list. Maybe you get something else. Or maybe you invested in it. Like I invested money in XM Sirius radio years ago, thinking this was going to be worth, $200-300 a
Yeah.
share. And I bought in at like $8 a share. I don't even think it's back to $8 a share now. I mean, I lost a lot of money on XM Sirius.
Remember when there were two Bluetooth type capabilities.
Okay.
One was called Bluetooth, the other was called green something.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there looking, I'm going, all right, I got X number of dollars to put in. These technologies are going to work. I got X number of dollars to go in one or the other. I went with the green, whatever it was.
Because green sounds more friendly than blue.
And because I thought, I'll make some green. No, Bluetooth was the one that won the battle. So it's like, you got a VHS machine, which, by the way, had to pull the VHS machine out the other night.
Had to.
Yeah, because we found a VHS. I got to transfer my VHS stuff to digital, but we found a VHS tape we wanted to watch. And then I remembered I still got a Sony Betamax machine upstairs. So, damn it, the Betamax went out. That was one of the great flops of technological wonders. But just in the past year you're talking about.
Decade.
Oh, the past decade.
Yeah,
Okay.
because as we roll in a new decade,
That's right.
2010 to 2020.
So one of the biggest flops of the past decade.
And maybe just something you thought, you bought off late night television, you said, that's going to be the wave of the future. I love
Right.
it. And it stunk. We got that and a bunch of other stuff we can get to, Jonathan. Of course, we got to remind them that the Alan Jackson concert tickets are up. We can do that anytime between 6 and 9 tomorrow. Or 6 and... Are we going to 10 o'clock with
We
that?
go to 10, but we typically would do the contesting before 9 o'clock.
So, and if they just hear a Alan Jackson country song.
That's it.
I noticed that Courtney Cox is getting a little bit of pushback here as she joked that she looked like Caitlyn Jenner in the new photo that she was posted with her brother. And I guess that's not... There's no ha-has.
That wasn't well received on the internet?
No. She does look like him. I got to be on, or her, Caitlyn. I'm sorry. That does look very. Yeah, you want somebody's trying to get closer to the photograph.
Get a close up of that. There you go. Thank you very much for the. And by the way, you can see all of this because we post this up. For those people listening to the podcast off of 97.5 WCOS.com, you can see this.
Right there on the Morning Rush blog, 97.5 WCOS.com.
All right, my friend, we're going to do all that tomorrow. And remember, if there's any other topic, maybe something coming up, maybe something about Christmas we haven't covered, you want us to talk about that, make a suggestion right off of your Facebook or social media. And be sure and call in tomorrow, especially if you want to win those Alan Jackson tickets. The comment line and the contest line are the same because they're not going to budget for two separate lines up here. It's 978 WCOS, 978-9267. I'm going to put some water in my poinsettia plant here before another leaf falls off. And have a great Monday. We'll talk to you Tuesday. See ya.